Hello angels, and welcome back to another video on my channel. It's been a while and I'm super excited to be back with you guys. I really just trust the flow of when there's some transmissions that want to come through, and I have something really powerful coming through for you guys today. So I'm always collecting, receiving information about what's happening, because as you may know, we're at a very powerful threshold of the human consciousness and awakening. And for so long, people have talked about 2027, 2030, there's going to be a split. There's going to be the new earth. There's going to be the people that are left behind, the people that will go into a new earth. And, I've never quite resonated exactly with that, but at the same time also felt like, yeah, something is going to happen. And I've kind of, been open to receive the information of what that exactly is. And I feel like I've received some really powerful pieces that I want to share with you so that you can take and, make your own, feel into your own, let's say, theory around it. I'm very claircognizant, meaning that I will receive information and just know that it's true. There's no way you can explain this with words, but so far in my life, it's always proven itself to be true. So I trust 100% what comes through, and I have received this very clearly about what's going to happen in the next few years. So actually, I want to share a reel with you guys that I saw yesterday, which is what sparked this knowing within my body and within my cells. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about it afterwards.
They didn't break the Large Hadron Collider, they stabilized it. And what CERN just achieved means that humanity has exactly 4 years to evolve, or we will be completely somewhat obsolete. Let me show you the math. Right now, CERN is pushing 7 tera electron volts per beam. To make this simple, a TeV, or tera electron volt, is the energy of a flying mosquito, but it's compressed into a space a trillion times smaller than a grain of sand. Right now, they're actually intentionally climbing toward a 14 TeV design. In the 14th framework, the exact atomic number of silicon is bridging us out of the carbon-6 structure. In 2016, physics prodigy Max Laughlin pointed out that when CERN discovered the God particle, the energy density was so massive it likely collapsed our original timeline. We shifted into an adjacent parallel dimension, and that's the true origin of the Mandela effect. Basically, it's the quantum artifact of timelines bleeding together. Project Looking Glass already proved this when military intelligence hit a wall in the year 2012, and this is when timelines started to converge. So what's happening right now at this pause? CERN just confirmed back in March that they stabilized a beam. The chaos in the collider is over, and the macro and micro are finally merging. We are now compacting information and energy into a single proton, and we are accelerating the switching signal faster than the speed of light. This creates zero latency across time, energy, and space. When you have zero latency, you process infinite output without extracting physical resources. We are gaining the ability to move in and out of alternative dimensions based purely on our own resonance. What happens is we will create and destroy them instantaneously without harming life. Now, this comes with a terrifying responsibility. When your processing speed hits zero latency, your thoughts manifest into reality immediately. If you hold on to fear, you will literally create your own demise just as fast. So CERN is giving us a 4-year window before they bring this back online and things really start to change. And through this, we are becoming the creator of the tools we observe. We must surrender the old human blueprint and step into our true design, which is ye are gods. You have 4 years to figure it out. Let's get to work. Thank you, and I love you.
Okay, so this was the reel. As you can see, we are actually approaching a timeline where we are going to manifest instantly. And this is what happens in the higher timelines, because there is no distortion in those fields. The reason why manifestation has been slower here is because of this distortion and manipulation of, the alien species that have kept humans energetically captive for many years. But of course, this comes with a risk, because you may have heard me talk about the movie The Lost Planet before. That was kind of an exemplification of what happens when you manifest instantly things that are actually, destructive, things from the subconscious that we haven't yet faced. So there is, of course, the risk that humans are going to manifest something not very pleasant. And if you look at the collective consciousness of humans, there's a lot of junk in there. And there's definitely, right now we wouldn't want instant manifestation. We would basically self-destruct, more or less. And this is also what there is a risk of happening in these next coming years. And that's why the work on our consciousness is so important. And it is truly an individual job. So the most important work you can do on yourself is to purify yourself completely. There's a lot of mental distortion on this plane. A lot of people experience negative thoughts, negative projections, anxieties, depression, all of the things. And all of it comes basically from negative entities that are influencing them. So it's very, very, very important to purify and clear ourselves. And this is where the shamanic work that I do with my clients, for instance, is essential because we need to clear the distortion that's in our field so that we can operate from a pure channel. And then really use these next years to train yourself to master your mind, to train yourself to master your reality, and become aware of the fact that you are actually the creator of your reality. You can literally create whatever life you want. And that's going to be more and more prominent as we come ahead in the future. And that's also why I know that the work we do here, the work we do in ABBA is going to become a global movement because the work I do is like literally help the individual become a completely sovereign conscious creator through the purification processes of the ABBA system. And then also for those who are in my mentorship through the work directly with me, it's the most important work we can do right now. And I think it's likely what might happen because there is a big split already of frequencies on the planet that there probably is the group of people that are gonna, stay behind and most likely self-destruct and be looped into continuous, karmic cycles. They're just gonna stay in the same frequency and experience more or less what they have so far because they didn't go through the soul evolution. And then there are the ones like you watching this video who have done a lot of work, who's ready to up level to the next level, let's say, or many next levels, and you will be able to transcend into higher dimensions and higher frequencies, and you will create this through your body. So the most important thing I want to share about this is that your body is the vehicle, your body is the machinery, your body is the technology. And this is so important because so many spiritual practices are all about overcoming the body. And I see even on Instagram, these people talk about, oh, suddenly we'll have this big, flash and we no longer operate in the body and now we're like crystalline. And I'm not denying that that could totally happen. I'm open to that. But I would be careful with that kind of mindset also, because I can see how that will get someone to just like completely abandon in the moment, any discipline, any bodies, anything, because it's like, oh, the solar flash will happen. I'll be fine. I will just wait for it to happen. No, we need to do the work diligently now on ourselves, on the body. And then it's great if this solar flash happens, could absolutely be. But you want to prepare yourself for it because if not, it could also be like, an event that literally kills the people who are not ready to hold a high frequency. So purification of the body is essential, is very essential. And in my opinion, I think this is also what was kind of like the point of the vaccine. From the distorted forces, that it is a way to lower the frequency quite a lot of the people who took it, and especially the people who took several doses. Creates a very dense low frequency in the body. When the body is, again, right now, the most important vehicle you have. So even if you had the shots, don't worry, because you can do a lot of work. You need to do a lot of work to clear it, but you can. You need to go through a lot of physical purification. And through the physical purification, we experience also the purification of the mental, the emotional, the spiritual. But because we are in more of a physical realm right now, it's a really important place to start. And that's also why what we do in APA, there's a whole chapter on on physical purification, because it's actually essential for embodying your purpose. And it's the most important thing you can do in order to make space for your purpose. So, needless to say, the next coming years are going to be very, 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 very pivotal and important in human evolution. That's why I will keep devoting myself to spreading my work and my ABBA movement. And I've had to do my own work with my smallness. In this year, I experienced a lot of inner resistance around really being seen and showing myself to the world. When last year I had a vision that, my work in ABBA would be like a global, worldwide thing that would be impacting millions and millions of lives. And it's necessary, actually, because ABBA could change the world for the better. And I need to get out of my own ego, out of my own smallness that is keeping that from being a reality, right? Because I know that if everybody did ABBA, we would already be like on heaven on earth frequency, the whole planet. And we don't even need everybody to do it, but like even if 10% of the population was doing it, that will be enough momentum to shift the entire collective. And we also have to keep in mind that we do influence the collective. So when we do the work on ourselves, we're positively impacting a lot of people. So that's why it's just so important for us to do this work right now, and in the coming years, and really focus on that mind as well. Focus on your thoughts. Whenever you see those negative thoughts, those destructive projections, ask yourself if that's really the truth or if it's really something you want to create. Because if it's not of truth. And then what I usually say is like, okay, God, please show me the truth then. And then I get God to download the truth into my system. Because again, the truth is we are endlessly powerful creators. And that's what we're waking up to. We're going from Homo sapiens to Homo luminous. And now is the ultimate test. And they're the ones who might self-destruct themselves in the process and fail the exam. Let's say this is the human exam. We've been for so long underway. And then there are ones that prepare themselves well and they will move on to the next level. So in either way, even if some people fail the exam, let's say, and it may seem catastrophic, it's just another little experience in the universe, and they will move on and eventually they will find the light as well. But, we do want to get as many people as possible along because this is also what happens on Earth impacts the entire galaxy. Like, this is really a place that has the potential to create peace in the galaxy if we manage to create peace here. So that's why we have so many light workers that have incarnated so that we can really support the planet. And this is why I'm here included. And I just want to add now, as I'm editing this video, to not make it sound so catastrophic, because in reality it doesn't have to be at all, that this can actually be really, really exciting times for us as well. Because imagine that you can get to play and create the exact reality that you desire. That there's literally no delay between you desiring something and actually you creating that reality. And that's truly the life we're meant to have. And that's what I refer to also when I talk about an immortal true society. It is a society where there is no distortion, there is no delay, because life reigns everywhere. So I think this is actually what we're moving towards creating, but each individual, of course, has to choose which timeline they want to play in. And I know what I choose. I choose heaven on earth, right? I choose the timeline where I get to live out my greatest legacy, the timeline where I get to play and become everything that I've ever dreamed of. And yeah, that is the potential it holds for us as we're moving into going from Homo sapien to Homo luminous. So take this as your opportunity to become the ultimate player in your own life, to become the main character of your story, to become the captain of your ship, and to know that now there will be no limitations. As these distorted energies are going to leave the planet, there'll be no delay, there'll be no limitations, there'll be no entropy, there'll be no decay. And that's when we as humans, we get to choose and live out our true nature, which has always been good. The work that needs to be done now is just ensuring that we clear these imprints that have been so deeply ingrained from these darker forces in the human psyche, so that we create just what comes from our natural state and not from the imprints. And that's, of course, what we do in my world. So definitely come join us. And I'm super excited for what's ahead. Important time to take care of ourselves. Subscribe to this channel if you like this information. Also, highly recommend seeing my free masterclasses on life purpose. They're linked down below. And if you're really serious about doing the work, I have the APA course, I have the APA mentorship. The APA course is for everybody. You can join. There'll be a link down below as well. And the mentorship is on application process, because you're going to work with me quite a lot. And what we do in there is activation of your higher DNA strands, activation of your purpose, activation of that highest timeline, so that you can choose the path of ascending with the new earth when it happens. And yeah, that's what I'm here to do. So really excited to have you along. I hope this was helpful, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video.